taking my freedom, putting it in my car. Wherever I choose to go, it won't take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden.
Let's get into it. Alright, we'll start on this table first. These are my mini greenhouses that I've made out of just recycled water bottles that we use around the house. This in here is rosemary, and then we also have some chamomile. And with these greenhouses, as you see, you can close them up. Put a little piece of tape on it. The water condensation will build, making sure that, you know, it gives the protection for your herbs and it keeps moisture in there. So these are just some herbs I'm starting, again, using plastic bottles. Here's a collard green plant. Now these are the ones, well, this is one of the ones that's not facing the sunlight directly. And as you see, compared to this collard green plant, it is dwarfed in size. So I'm working on finding somewhere to move that to. I might just put it in a pot until I can transfer it into the garden, or I just might find a more sunny area in the greenhouse to move it to. But as you see, the ones that are getting sunlight are doing a lot better. I've also harvested some collard greens. I can actually probably come out here and pull some more leaves from it. I haven't cooked them yet, but when I cook them, or when I get ready to cook them, I'll show you what the harvest looked like when I first got it, and I'll probably add some more to it, because right now they're in the refrigerator. They've been cleaned, but they're just in the refrigerator waiting to be cooked. Here is some recycled pods that you get from the Home Depot or Lowe's when you get your starter plants. And once I use them, I just reuse them over again for other plants. And this right here that's growing in there is mint. The goal is that I'm going to start all my stuff from seed and just start the starts in the greenhouse, so I don't have to buy plants this year from Lowe's or Home Depot. This is a planter that has green onions and chives. The green onions actually came from the grocery store, and once I cut the tops off, I just saved the stems with the roots at the bottom, and I put them in dirt, and as you see, they're looking real good. They're shooting up. Good tip about chives: once you first plant them in the ground, the first little sprigs that they produce are going to be leaning over. They're just going to look real weak. If you cut those first tips off, meaning if you take it and you just pluck it off, it's going to come back stronger and bigger. So that's just a tip with chives. If they're looking real weak, if they're laying down, just clip them off. And once you clip them off, the new growth will make the chives expand and the stems will be stronger. This is another collard green. I'm thinking it's bunched up like that because I waited so long to pull them. So hopefully now that I've gotten rid of some of those excess leaves, that'll sprout out and start growing upward. Some more collard greens. This is the other small collard green. Even though it's getting a little bit of sunlight, it's still being dwarfed by this one. So that's another collard green that I'll transplant somewhere else. So it can thrive like these three are. Here's some bronze fennel. Fennel came out of my medicinal seed packet. Fennel gives you really good health benefits. The taste of fennel is like a licorice. So a lot of people wait until these flower and form the seed pods and use fennel seeds for seasoning. But you can also use the leaves and the stems and the root. So this is the bronze fennel. Here are my strawberries, and they still have flowers on them. The green tops are filling out. It was only like one at first. Now it's about 4 down there. You can kind of see them sprouting out. So I think once the season kind of kicks up a little bit, I'm going to have some good luck with some strawberries. That's a pretty flower. Salad bowl. As you see, my seeds came up with the spinach and some kale is in there. Not sure what happened to my romaine. It might still be down there, but they're coming up slowly but surely. Dandelion greens. I told y'all about the nutritional benefit in dandelion greens. So, you know, they grow wild out on your yard. So if you don't spray any chemicals on your lawn or anything like that, you can pull them directly. And the root is edible. A lot of people roast it like coffee and call it dandelion coffee. The leaves are edible, as well as the stems and the flower. Here's my pretty cabbage. She's looking real good. I don't know why I assigned a gender, but to me, she's a she. So I'm excited about getting a big head of cabbage in the greenhouse. I have cauliflower that are finally sprouting out. Now there's some spots in my cauliflower, and from what I understand, there's nothing wrong with them. Just, you know, once they become more mature, either they'll change the color and white, or once I pick them, if they still have spots on them, I'm just gonna cut those spots off and still eat it. It's nothing wrong with it, but it looks really good. These back here are some snow peas. Snow peas tend to be really good in cool environments. So I planted one round in the greenhouse to start the season off early. Keep in mind it's February and I'm still growing stuff and it'll be available for harvest. So that's the good thing about a greenhouse, is you can get a jump on the season. And I have these metal cages around them because even though they're the bush variety, so they shouldn't climb high like regular peas do, they're still going to need some support. So that's the purpose of the metal cages. If you come back here, you see things are developing at different times. This is a cabbage. The cabbage up front that's closer to the sun already has a nice head on it. This one doesn't. So I'm noticing the things that are a little bit closer to the sun are producing better, which of course it's supposed to do. We all learned about photosynthesis in school. Let's see, I'm gonna have to probably go down on the lower level to show you the other cauliflowers that are coming in. And this is another strawberry plant too. It doesn't have flowers on it yet, but it looks really green and healthy, so I have no doubt that flowers are going to start blooming from that. So I'm going to go down to the second level now. Okay, so on the second level, we'll start out with the mustard greens. And these mustard greens, I have harvested some too to add with the collard greens as well for kind of like a mixed green. This is another pot that I had that just did not produce, or it hasn't produced yet. There's some carrots in there, but y'all, when I say the birds get in this greenhouse and I'll see peck holes from where they've dug the seeds out. So we're working on a solution for that. These are some more chives. The oregano. And those seeds have sprouted from the oregano seeds that I planted. So we have a baby oregano coming up right there. Some thyme. In these pots below are rosemary. No, I'm sorry. So sorry. It's lavender. Lavender gets dormant in the wintertime. And when the spring in the ground makes, you know, the soil warmer and the ground warmer, they'll start thriving. So right now they're just dormant, but they're still green. This is another way that I will sow seeds. I use a egg crate or egg carton and poke holes in the bottom, fill them with dirt, and I start seeds that way too. These were some transplants. I'll show you where they actually are because they didn't do too good, I'm not gonna lie, in that egg tray. So I'm gonna compost that dirt or probably just use it in some more seed start and kits, and yeah, go from there. So that's what that is over there for. Here's the sage, and I know the sage looks different, y'all, and the reason why is because I went in and I thinned out the sage. This sage is 3 years old, and the roots were just all tangled in together. So I just went in and I separated some of these random plants from the main root, and they still had their root systems on them, so I just replanted them and spreaded them apart. These are the sage that I grew from seed, and this is the mother plant. So the main root, my 3-year-old plant, is this mother plant right here. So this area is going to fill out pretty nice once the season kicks off. In those egg crates, that is what was in here. These are some early broccoli in here. There is some red cabbage in here too. So just waiting for those to start sprouting, and they'll be ready to transplant in the garden after the last frost. In my zone, which is zone 6B, the last frost date, it is set for May 1st. So I could get these out a little bit before, maybe about 2 weeks before, because they are cold tolerant too. Just they can't take too much frost. Not babies like this anyway. So here's the rosemary, which is still looking green. It really hasn't gone dormant, honestly. I've picked rosemary all the time to cook with. Here's my lemon thyme. Here's that little lemon balm sprig that I had on last month's video. As you see, is a full sprig of lemon balm now. Here's the full lemon balm plant that I got out of the garden and brought into the greenhouse. And these little pots have spinach. That's a random mint plant that I found in the bed with the thyme, and I knew it didn't belong there, so I just plucked it and put it in here. And if you can see, y'all see those holes? That is what the birds are doing. I had some string beans planted in there, but apparently they like string bean seeds. It's not near string bean seed in there. They went in there and plucked them all out. So I'm gonna find something else to plant here. And the way that they get in, see if I can show you guys. There's an opening right there. It's the smallest opening in the world, but apparently it's not small enough to where a bird can't fit in. So some mornings I'll come in here and there's a bird flying around, or I know they've been in here because they leave their evidence. Either they picked my seeds or they didn't poop somewhere in here. So I'm gonna get something, probably the pool noodles, and close in those gaps so they can't fit in. Here's my chamomile. I have a lot of chamomile, y'all. I even have some more chamomile in the seed pod, so I have a lot of chamomile, but I'm happy about that because I use the chamomile in my products, so hopefully I'll be self-sufficient on chamomile. This is some more spinach, and these are just those salad trays that you get from the store. Once I use them, I keep them. I cut holes at the bottom so they'll have water drainage. I fill them up with soil and I plant seeds directly in them. You keep the tops. I have the tops, they're somewhere around here, but if you keep the tops, you cover them up to make sure that they stand watered and protected. Here's some borage flowers that popped up, so pretty. They looking a little sad now, but I think all of this stuff I really need to get in the house. These are some herbs that I planted from seeds. They haven't sprouted yet, but let's see what I have. Okay, this is lemon basil, Italian parsley, cilantro is in this one, lemon mint. Ooh, that's gonna be good. I forgot about that. Lemon mint is in that one. And this is just regular basil in that back one. These are some flowers and some peppers. It's too cold out here for them. So I'm gonna have to get some kind of UV light, a heating pad or something for those crops to start really germinating. I'm going to start a process of doing them over again in the house. I think they'll do a lot better with sprouting if they're in the house than being out here. Even though the greenhouse stays consistent with a temperature of about 10 to 15 degrees higher than what it is actually outside, it's still too cold because peppers and tomatoes, they just love heat. And as you see, this is another makeshift greenhouse invention I came up with. All it is some Ziploc bags, and they fit right around the tops of these pots that I've just recycled from old things that I planted in my yard. And you see they hold water really well, so it's self-watering. And that's another way that you can make a greenhouse with just stuff you have around the house. These are just, again, sandwich bags and recycled pots. This is some snowball cauliflower that are starting to sprout. And all of these back here, y'all, are some more snow peas. Now the snow peas, I'm trying to hold on to those and not plant those yet that I have right now. I have some more up here too. These are some babies that I took out of the pods and I finally planted them. And I plan on putting those outside when it's time. And I have a perfect thing to put them on that I done a video. Oh, y'all, look, my lizard is back. Hey, lizard. He just protects the greenhouse. He loves it, and I don't mess with him. So, and see, I've assigned him a gender too, so he's a boy. But anyway, so yeah, you look right here. These are all the different things that I collect. All plastic bottles, those tray pots down there. That's an egg carton top. You can use anything to start seeds out in. The snow peas that you saw that I had over on the stand, I just use red paper cups for those, party cups that people have already drank out of, and you know you don't reuse those cups, you just throw them away. So instead of throwing them away, I wash them out and I plant them. So yeah, that, oh, and this is the last thing I think, y'all, in the greenhouse, and this is my hanging strawberry plant, and it's really pretty and green, as you see. So I definitely think I'm gonna get some good strawberries out of those strawberry yields this year. I hope so. So now I'm gonna take you outside. It's really kind of chilly out there. That's why I'm in the greenhouse, and I started here first. But I'm gonna take you outside so I could just show you what I done out there to get ready for the season coming up. Let me move my little screen door. Alright, y'all, so here's outside. So y'all know it's cold, so everything is covered up, making sure that, you know, the ground stays nice and compacted, is not growing any weeds. And you can get these black tarps. They come in rolls, and it's plastic, from Home Depot or Lowe's. And as y'all see, my mint, this is actually chocolate mint. It has not died yet. And we've had snow and everything else, and so that lets you know it's very hard to kill mint. Even if you look right there, there's a piece of bronze fennel that I have grown in a pot in the greenhouse. So even though it's been cold, I still have some green out here. And y'all, I built this trellis. Oh, I'm so excited about my trellis, y'all. I have a video up right now showing you how I did it. It was not as hard as I thought, but I'm gonna keep going back with the trellis, and once I complete it and start tilling up around the side, because in the front, the plan is in the front of the garden beside the trellis, I'm gonna plant my flower bed, and what I'll have going up the trellis is squash, cucumbers, pole beans, and my little owl out there still protecting stuff. I added a fence in the middle too, because the rabbits were getting to all of my little crops that I had out here last year. So this year, hopefully this fencing will keep them out. So I told y'all this was gonna be a short video. I don't know how short it was, but I didn't want to spend a lot of time talking. Just wanted to show you guys the progress in the greenhouse, and I'm still working on it, and I just can't wait for spring, so I can finally start seeing the green and the flowers, and it just does something to my spirit. So I just thank y'all for tuning in with me. Please, 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 if you like these videos and want to get more videos like this, comment, subscribe, hit that like button, hit that notification bell for when I send new content out. But I thank each and every one of y'all for, continue to do the most so you can absolutely be the most. Y'all be blessed and have a good day.